Hey, guys, let's say hi to Bob Kelly. Bob.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Colin was in the other day, and he was telling us a story about you and Seinfeld, and it was a little embarrassing.
Yeah, that friggin' son of a bitch Seinfeld douchebag.
Would you like to tell us the story?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the Tonight Show right now. Hey, Johnny. Norton's Ed.
I don't want to be Ed. I want to be Doc.
Take one up the keister.
Is he gay?
He always seemed a little flamboyant.
Oh.
Seemed a little Noah-like.
Remember when he was filming Comedian?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Seinfeld?
Well, that son of a bitch was coming down with this little camera crew, and I never talked to him. I never said nothing to him. I never say nothing to famous people when they come down there. And there's certain comedians.
You're talking about the Comedy Cellar, by the way, where most of that movie Comedian was filmed.
Yes.
Thank you.
Where all the big-time New York comics hang out when they're not on the road.
Right.
All right, there you go. Sorry.
Thanks. So this son of a bitch comes down. I never say nothing to him. I just, some comedians kisses their asses,
Yeah.
Especially if he was filming, so there were certain comedians, Godfrey, that would just, sticking their faces in. And I never said nothing to him. One night he says something to me. I say something back. I feel like we build up a rapport.
Rapport?
You know what I mean? Like it was
what did he say?
Organic.
Excuse me?
Yeah. What's the code? Because there's a door code to get down.
Is this seat taken?
Well, it was kind of like a little conversation we had.
Yeah.
So the next
what was
day,
it? What was it about, Bob? Was it something like?
All right, so it wasn't that much of a conversation, but it was enough for me to maybe say hi to him again.
Yeah.
You know
Did
what
he
I mean?
ask?
He said.
Did he ask why you were looking at that midget and crying?
Is that the first time he's done it? Yeah. All right, where's that audio?
I'll never live that down.
No, you won't.
And you wonder why I fuck sinks. So I went and I did this gig up in Buffalo 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
The worst gig of my life. I have to hire my own driver to pick me up to drive me to the gig.
Oof.
This guy picks me up in a van, one of those cool vans with the captain seats and the TV and the VCR. And
Nice.
so he's got every Seinfeld episode ever, and he's got headphones on, and he's not watching it, he's listening to them.
Jesus.
This guy's a Seinfeld freak. So we're driving to the gig. He's telling me about Seinfeld. He finds out I'm a comedian. He starts calling me Jerry.
Oh, gee.
Oof.
I took him out we went to lunch. Because we had like an hour to kill.
Yeah.
So the whole time he's telling me about, his family, and he's like Jerry, and I'm like Bob. He's like, oh, I know, but I just really like Jerry, so I'm like, okay, call me Jerry.
Oh my God, that's weird.
Did he ask you to listen to an audio cassette of his stand-up and put you on his show?
Jerry? Jerry?
So,
Ma!
nice talking to you. So, this guy asked me for an autograph, but I was like, you know what? I might be able to get you one. Because I just talked to him the other night for the first time, me and my new buddy.
Yeah.
So then I go to do this gig. It's outside, after a band, in the rain, in the afternoon, next to a skydiving simulator, at a beer fest.
So how was the gig?
It was all right. It wasn't that bad. I pulled it off.
You pulled it off.
So this gig was hell. So I go back to New York. I met this guy. I mean, I lived the Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
This guy, the whole gig with the thing and the flight simulator. I can't wait to see Jerry and tell him the gig, tell him about the gig. So the first time we talked, we made a bet. I was making bets, and he jumped in on the bet. So I owed him $1 because he won the bet. That's why that was our conversation.
Oh, okay.
So he's on stage.
You remember what the bet was?
Yeah, it was if Gretzky was on the team that when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup, and no, he wasn't.
All right.
And so he walks off stage, and I got my dollar out, and there's like a crowd of people going nuts. He walks by me at the foot of the stairs in the cellar, and I go, "Here's your $1." you won the bet. And he looks at me with like almost take that, he could smell dog shit, but he doesn't know where it is look.
Yeah.
And he took the buck, which kind of annoyed me that he took the buck.
Of course.
He didn't say, nah, it's all right, don't worry about it. He took it.
Yeah.
I go, but I got a story for you first. He goes, you want your buck back? So in my head, I'm like, what a fucking dick. Then he walks up 2 stairs, he turns around, and he goes, I'll be upstairs in the back corner eating. So when you're done, come up, and we'll talk upstairs. So I go, all right, man, I'll be up. I'm doing my set. Right after my set, I'll come up, we'll sit, we'll talk. He goes, not you. He was talking to the lady next to me. I was so... You don't understand, there's a crowd of people there. The lady next to me looked at me like, I'm sorry. And then he just walked up the stairs.
How embarrassing. Oh, for that split second, you're like, oh, my God, Jerry's inviting me up to his table. I'm going to hang. And then, not you.
Just the fact that I assumed that he would invite me from 2 sentences to sitting down and having food with the guy.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'll be right. I said it so confident, too. I was like, dude, I got to do my set, but right when I'm done with my set,
right.
I'll be up and I'll join you. And
Yeah,
we'll talk about stories.
I got to do my craft.
Not you, in that Jew voice, that his just big fat lips, just not you. Ugh.
That's a good story,
that
man.
rings through my head. Anytime
of course it
someone
does.
says not you, it rings through my head.
You know how embarrassing it is when you're walking down the street and someone waves and goes, hey, and you wave back, and then you realize it's somebody behind you
It's
that
the
they're
worst
waving at,
feeling.
and you're all embarrassed.
Obviously, yeah,
It's
yeah.
got to be that times 1,000. Because
Oh.
it's Jerry Seinfeld, and you're in front of people, and that is the worst. When Colin told me that, I couldn't stop laughing and feeling bad for you. I cried like you at a midget wedding.
Dude, let me tell you something. In my head, in a split second, I literally saw myself being on his new show. I'm the new Kramer, and I was just a superstar.
For a split second, like
Norton, Colin, just blowing him off.
Jerry's inviting me to his table. This is great. All right, I'll be up right after I do my set.
I finally made it.
Like Jerry will tell people about Bob, like, oh, you got to sit and talk to this guy. He's out of his mind. He's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Bob, they've offered me a show, and I need a help. I need a writer. Just like Larry was on Seinfeld, I'd like you to be on this new project I'm working on.
Yeah, we need a professional person who knows about eating ass and all those.
And effing sinks and
maybe you could be the tear Nazi. People,
the tear Nazi.
People come in with a sad story, you just cry, and they walk out of your establishment.
God forbid I show emotion to a little girl who can't touch her face.
Little girl, she was a woman. Just happened to be 2 foot tall.
We finally got the audio of that. We're going to play it after the break, by the way. Finally. We've been looking for that audio for weeks. All right, Bob, we're going to let you go. We might call you back because I think we're going to play the midget audio as well today.
All right, guys. I love all you guys.
You're the best, Bob.
Not you.
Well.
See you, man.
Bye.
All right, there goes Bob Kelly.
How awful
is that just an embarrassing story?
That's great.
Like he's looking up the stairs at Jerry, looking down at you. He says, when you're done, come on up. We'll eat and talk. And for that split, because as a comic, he's standing there going, this is great. Oh, my God, what an in. If you're going to network with a comedian, Seinfeld's the guy you want to network with. The guy, took stand-up comedy and turned it into what every stand-up comic wants, the most successful sitcom in history, And there he is, ready to go. All the fantasies rushing through Bob's head. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell the friends he's going to tell. He's thinking about the friends he's going to tell that he hung out with Jerry, and he invited him up to his table.
And the comedians that will see him walking in.
Right.
Like we're all walking in, and there's Bob at Seinfeld's table chatting, having some fun.
Away. Jerry throwing his head back, laughing at Bob's banter.
Bob going, dude, I just can't do it. I can't give you 6 weeks, Jerry.
I can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. And then in that split second, not you.
Because the Comedy Cellar, when you walk out of the showroom, you can make a right to leave, or the steps up to the left will take you up to the olive tree, and it's very cramped.
Yeah.
And everybody, if Seinfeld was speaking, everybody is silently listening.
Of course.
Everyone heard it.
What a wonderfully horrible story.
Oh, dude, it's just awful.
That is irreprehensible.